Hey, what's good, guys? It's Blake, and today I'm gonna show you guys how to cook up a beat with some bounce like Wheezy. It's too easy. Those producers were the ones that really influenced my drum bounce for this video. I got this sample from Shank's new sample pack. Shank's is one of the most fire sample makers in existence at this point. I've got a couple of his sample packs recently, and they're just ridiculous. So yeah, definitely go check them out. But yeah, let's get right into it. All right, so first off, I'm gonna play a snippet of the final beat, and then I'll get into the breakdown.
Like the gray?
Alright guys, so here's the original sample that I flipped. Alright, so what I did to this melody, so as you can see for the intro, I made the sample unique, and I went into the sample and I reversed it and I pitched it up 125 cents. Now for the melody that you hear playing for the majority of the beat with all the drums playing, I just pitched it up 125 cents, and I honestly kept it the same BPM. I didn't reverse it because I thought 126 was a really good BPM for the bounce I was going for. On the sample, I threw a delay, I threw a reverb because the sample was really dry. There's no reverb on the sample or anything, so I wanted to add some delay reverb just to make it sound a little more wet. And then I got an EQ to cut out some of the low end for the 808. I did chop up the sample pretty extensively, so here's the chops. There's so many different strategies you can use for sampling, but what I usually do when I'm on FL Studio, I just cut up the sample in the playlist as so. I usually use you press C to get this cut tool so you can cut the sample up, and that's how I chop up my samples, and I just arrange them as so in the playlist. And for some of the pieces, I have it start in weird spots because I really liked how this part of the sample flowed in to this bar right here, but I just had to push it over a little bit, and it was just all experimentation. Because although originally the sample doesn't hit on this spot, I just liked how it hit with the chops I had laid out, and it just flowed really well. Alright, onto the drums. Here's the 808. Obviously, this 808 pattern is super simple, and I really didn't do too much to the 808 other than push the boost knob a little bit just to make the 808 hit a little bit harder with the soft clipper on the master. Here's how I shaped the 808. I pulled the whole knob all the way up and everything else all the way down. Here's my hi-hat bounce. The way I found the bounce for the hi-hats was honestly when I was listening to the sample. So the first drums I really laid down was the hi-hat, and I just went with the flow of the chops that I had laid out, and this is the best how it flowed the best. And it is really simple. Again, this beat is super simple, but it does have a lot of bounce. Because of 126 BPM, I can do a lot of stops and starts, and it won't be too choppy, and a little bit of rolls here and there. Now here's a cadence snare, and I'm also going to play it in context with the hi-hat so you can feel the bounce a little bit better. I just wanted some bounce along with the hi-hats, claps, and 808s, and this snare just fit perfectly. Here's the open hat. Here's another perk. This is just an OG shaker sound that is in tons of beats, especially like in the 2017 through like 2019 era. Man, this shaker, you really could just not get away from it, but I really wanted to use it because I just heard it in this specific spot, and I just had it playing once in the pattern, and I just thought it sounded super fire hitting right after the one. And mixing wise, as I say in every video, it really depends with every single beat. But you always got to start with the leveling. You got to make sure your sounds are all leveled out. As you can see here, I have the 808 a little lower than usual. That's because it was just a little too punchy when it was up here in the mix, so I just had to pull it down just a little bit because it is an 808 that I don't use a ton. So I just was experimenting, and that's the best spot I found it at. And then the rest of the percussion, the clap I didn't even move, the hi-hats I didn't even move. Just leveled out the percussion as so. I didn't even add any effects, but the only effects I added was on the melody, where I cut out the low end and I added the delay and reverb as I said earlier. Also a soft clipper on the master as always, so all the sounds can hit as hard as they can without clipping. So yeah guys, that's about it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see y'all next time.
Like the gray?